Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. This is the NBA Odds Couple Show for Friday, May 13th. We got one game on the card. I'm Peter Loshak. Sitting next to me is Mike Brenner. Mike Brenner, probably coming off of your single greatest pick in the short history of this entire show.
It felt good. I just felt
you loved
it.
It
Pete.
wasn't even remotely close in any way, shape, or form. We got to bow down to you.
No,
Like,
hell no.
And a lot of people, I told you, in the show I said, I thought you're right. Then I went home, I was like, he's totally right.
And
oh my God,
I
bet
5
it.
units on it too.
I saw people on YouTube and Twitter talking about how they tailed you at that one. And I think the key was that it wasn't even close. You said you loved it, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah,
and
I
saved
even
a lot
said
of
I thought they
people's
were going to
yeah.
win by more than 8, and they did, and they were just blowing them out. But I just felt that something happening in OKC, Pistol Pete.
Vintage Mike Brenner right there. And the thing that really, well, first of all, I feel like I have a good read on when you're like really on top of something, like that Toronto first quarter play that I also tailed. The key to me was when you mentioned Pop's record in elimination games.
Now 2-11.
Right, because the teams that he coaches, they're great bets against the spread. He gets the most out of his players by creating this machine. But if the machine isn't good enough to avoid an elimination game, it's probably not good enough to win the elimination game.
Yeah, and it did. Everything kind of just played into fruition, except Dion Waiters didn't put up a bunch, but his presence was felt. And the big guy, Steven Adams, just had a hell of a game. What they did was they punched him in the stomach early. It was 16-10. They were losing in the first quarter, and there was one shot that Durant made, and I said, guess what? They're getting ready to take off, and they did. They went on a 15-3 run, closed out the quarter, covering everything, the half, the quarter, the whole nine. But no, it felt good. We banked, we kicked that bookie's ass, and by God, Pete, we just did our job.
You go.
And
I tailed you.
I'd be remiss to say if you nailed that first quarter under.
But that was like a standard small edge play that was close but cash. But your play was like you called it saying you loved it. You know what I mean?
I felt it, bro. I just really felt it, Pete. And
all
again,
right.
Just with that.
Well, moving right along.
Before we get too far ahead, I want to throw a shout out. We got some great bloggers out there that have really just stepped up and appreciate your support. Eddie Mush, Brian Kim, all right, Glenn Middleton, Daily Scratcher, Fitz Urquhart, all right, Guan White. I got a ton, and I'll let you all know, but thank you. All right. Me and Pistol Pete, we can't do it without you guys. So keep the comments coming, even if the haters are out there, because Anoball, whatever. Yes. This guy's jumping all over me.
And I want to give a shout out to all the people who post on our YouTube comments that we're idiots and that we don't know what we're talking. Because I love that shit.
I know you do.
That's the shit that I love.
You know what? What I did lose yesterday, I'd lost one bet. And it wasn't even a bet. I should have handled something a little different with a blogger, and my father would have said, come on, son, take that high road. But I learned from my mistakes, and my emotions get the best of me because I want to win every damn bet, Pistol Pete.
Yeah, I hear you, Mike Brenner. All right. Toronto, Miami. Now, earlier in our show yesterday, I actually mentioned that I hit Toronto on plus 4.5 and the under at 190 on the opening lines there, and both those have moved. It's now plus 4, 189. We know the deal with this series. It's there's just injuries all over the place, right? There's people, and there's a lot of injuries that people are playing through, right? Damari Carroll, Luol Deng, everything. It's just a disaster in terms of the injuries all over the court. And then
it looks like a mash unit.
Yeah, and then you got Joe Johnson, who's going to get increased minutes, and he hasn't really been getting it.
He got increased pay. The guy can't hit shit.
Yeah,
he's 1 for 14 from 3-land in this series.
But that could change, though. I mean, he's a professional player.
You know, and again, I get stirred up with these players, though, that are overpaid. When he signed that big deal and left Atlanta, he hasn't done a hell of a lot to really contribute to this team like he could be. So I'm disappointed in that. And Luol Deng will be playing with a banged-up wrist. You know,
so everyone's banged up here. Listen, I like a lot of plays in this game. I'm going to give them. I'll just run them right down now. Okay. I like Toronto. I bet them at plus 4.5. Now it's plus 4. I'll give that. And I like the unders. First half, first quarter, and full game. I bet the under at 190 on the opener. I bet the first quarter. That's my biggest play. That's why out of the three of them, I like the first quarter under the most. I've got it at 48. The first half is 95.5. Heritage hanging 95, and the total is 189. Greek is hanging 189.5. So for the purposes of our record keeping, I'll take the Greek number. It's 189 everywhere else though, and I like all four of those plays, but definitely out of the four plays, I like the first quarter under 48.
Banged up team, getting old. It's slow.
And not just that, they tired. And they play defense is what they do anyway.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
both of them. So
Pistol Pete got some confidence in them picks.
I got four picks for tonight. I'm loving the first quarter under. The other three, I'm liking. You know, the Toronto play. It's not because I think that Toronto necessarily has an edge. It's because I think it's a coin flip game, and they're getting 4 points.
Process of elimination. Who's going to be the least banged up?
So. And then as far as the full game under is concerned, look, these games could easily go to overtime. 3 of them have already gone, right? So this could easily be one that's way under in regulation and goes goes to overtime. Again, it could be a game that goes to overtime and Miami covers the 4. Who knows? But those are my 4 plays, and my favorite one is the first period under.
Pistol Pete, I like that confidence.
There you go.
For real.
Yeah.
Really.
All right. You have anything to say about this game?
I do, Pistol Pete. I got something to say about this.
Oh.
This, for me, is a 10-foot pole game.
Really?
10-foot pole, buddy. I'm not touching it with this pole. I'm not kidding you either, and I've worked too hard this week to just not feel so confident and just throw something out there because I don't want to give that bookie anything back. Have busted ass to work to take what we've taken. So you know what I'm doing tonight? I'm kicking back with my family. I'm popping a cold beer. I'm not even going to watch this game. I'm just not because
I've definitely stepped up and given 4 plays for our viewers.
Yes, you have.
Just let's get your thoughts on it anyway.
Okay, yeah, well, again, here we go. Luol Deng's banged up. Whiteside, they're going to feel that injury, okay? You got Wade and Dragic. Dragic, he's just still running around like a maniac, but he's going to have a big game. Wade is really getting tired. It's wearing him. Johnson, we already talked about it. I'm disappointed in this guy's production.
Yeah.
But if there is a night he needs to step up, it's tonight. All right, Damari Carroll said he will definitely play. He's got a bad wrist.
Yeah.
The big man, Volusian's out. But there's one edge I like for Miami, but I'm just not going to back it. I'm not going to put it out there. But DeRozan, who had a great game, he finally bounced out of his slump, right? He's got a really banged up thumb, and it's going to be wrapped tonight.
Yeah.
I think now that the adrenaline has stopped and that injury is set in, I don't think he's going to be effective tonight. He might be a sore thumb on that team. So I just don't know. What I read, though, I didn't really like. Toronto said, we got our bags packed for Cleveland. I like the confidence. But you ain't even done this one yet. You better do your work. You guys have never been to that next stage. So take your time, slow down. And if you got your bags packed for Cleveland, I hope you only brought enough for a couple days because you're going to be going home quick. So
I mean, I will definitely say that my pick of Toronto at +4 is my least favorite out of the 4. I like the unders. And exactly because Toronto. I mean, Toronto can collapse on offense. I mean, Damari Carroll can stink up the joint.
Absolutely.
And so can Lowry. So
There's no doubt. And when they try to force it, and Patrick Patterson tries to get involved on the inside, then he gets into foul trouble. So, I think Spoelstra is a good enough coach to look and say, okay, here's the weakness, here's where we got to go, and here's where we have to change, from putting so much pressure on D. Wade. But I know one thing, D. Wade's going to be ready. If Miami blew him out, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. But I just do not feel that oomph, and I'm backing off of it, baby. I'm backing off of it. And for me, that's a win.
Sure, could easily see Miami being up like 50-30 in the first half, and it's just it's a big.
I was going to pull the trigger, but there's just too many injuries, like you said, and there's just a lot of inconsistency with everybody else around D. Wade. So staying off it, but absolutely going to join my family tonight, Pistol Pete. Now I'm already my sights are on. I'm looking at games already for next week. I got a lot of stuff lined up, ready to go, baby.
Well, the Sunday game, they're going to be. No, but I'm saying that that Toronto's going to be playing on Sunday anyway, right? Because if they win, they play Cleveland.
That's right, because they'll have a short turnaround. So we will have a game. We will be shooting that tomorrow.
Interesting situations, possible great value in that game one of the Cleveland series, no matter who they wind up playing. All right, so I think that's about it.
And I like your confidence though with your picks, Pistol Pete. I like it. You've been knocking them down.
Yeah.
Second half slick right here, baby.
Second half slick. P. Loshak is my Twitter. That's where the second half plays go. Mike Brenner is taking a very, very well-deserved and well-earned pass. Everyone cashed, tailing him yesterday. I tailed him. A bunch of other people tailed him. And I'm on 4 plays tonight to 3 unders and Toronto +4. Toronto +4 is my least favorite. My favorite play out of those 4 is the first quarter under, but I'm giving all 4 of them. What the hell? Hopefully I'll sleep it. Maybe not. What the hell?
Balls, Pete.
We'll be back tomorrow for the weekend card tomorrow on Saturday, right?
Yes, we will. And thanks again, bloggers. And guess what? Pistol Pete's kicking your ass tonight, bookie.